Mac, do you have an invitation song? Number 316 will be our invitation song in just a moment. If you will turn to Hebrews, book of Hebrews chapter 12. So today I came across a video and it was captioned, "Remember your first high school football play." And I'm not going to talk about my experience as a very short outside linebacker. Just, sometimes it worked, other times it really didn't. But I'm going to talk about this kid, number 47 in this video that I was watching. I have no clue where he's from, no clue what school. I don't even know what position he plays because it was on a kickoff. But the first play that this kid, I imagine, is remembering is this specific play since someone decided to post about it. So number 47, his team had kicked the ball off. It was the opening play, and he's running down the field. So they make this nice line, and they're trying to go after the ball carrier. And he sees the ball carrier, and number 47 lines up his body to tackle this man. And as he's going forward, people are going around him, and he's cutting through a crowd of people. And number 47 gets to that ball carrier and gets absolutely laid out flat on his back, and the guy runs in for a touchdown. I don't know exactly if that's the kind of play he would want to remember from his first high school football play, but it was definitely probably something to remember in regards of what he did. He had probably prepared as much as he possibly could, coached up as much as he probably needed to be to do the part that he was supposed to do, to actively, I guess, stop the ball carrier when it came his way, though he fell a little short. But this kind of got me thinking about the preparation and ability that we need to have in our own lives that is so important when it comes to us as a Christian. You see, the opposition is always attempting to win the game just as much as we are wanting to win the game as well. The opposition wants the victory in everything that it does. And so we have to be just as prepared, if not more, and have every ability without excuse to take on that opposition that we're going against. The competition of football it's probably short-lived, and most people don't play past the age of 35 or whatever unless you're Tom Brady, but some people just don't make it that far, and it's only a short glimpse in their lives. So I would like for us to consider Jesus and how people always seemed to oppose him. And so the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, we're going to start in verse 2. It says, "Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the God on his throne." But verse 3, "Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted." Jesus took on the opposition, the ultimate opposition in our lives. Every one of us individually, he took on the opposition there. Jesus put himself right between us and the sin that is in our lives so that we have the ability to stay faithful to the very end of our lives. So someone that can do that for us surely is someone that we should listen to. So Jesus tells us how to handle this worldly opposition that we go through, the things in our lives that seem to hold us back. Luke chapter 6, verse 27 and 28. Luke 6, 27 and 28. "But I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you." So in this section here, we see that worldly opposition is not so much a thing to be worried about, but Jesus gives us a little bit of instructions on how we can deal with people. And this is just a short verse out of many others in the Bible that talks about how we are to deal with others. But we have this worldly opposition, and sometimes people are in the way of us getting to heaven. Now, that's not to say that they're not as important about their souls and getting to heaven, but we cannot let people tear us down, and even then step up with every ability that we have to be able to fight off the opposition of sin in their lives with them. So we should do that, but also we should resist the spiritual oppressor. And of course, when I say that, I know you know who this spiritual oppressor would be, but James chapter 4, verse 7 is a great verse about fending off the spiritual oppressor. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. If we resist him and the things that he's trying to do to us, the pushback that he is giving towards us to try to stay away from things we're supposed to do, we are better off for it. The very next verse, in verse 8, only gives us room to do one other thing. If we resist the devil, we have all the ability to draw near to God. If you put one thing away by resisting the devil, all that's left is God in your life. So what do you remember? We started out by saying, remember your first high school football play. But what about you? What about that moment you chose to become a Christian in your life? The moment where you decided that Jesus is more important to me than the opposition, the sin, the harm that is there for me in my life. What about that moment when you chose him over the world and committed to God? Have you been faithful in your walk? Have you continued to do what you're supposed to and stuck with the word here in its instructions? Or have you shun it away and just not been doing what you're supposed to? Maybe you haven't become a Christian. Maybe it's been on your mind. Maybe that's something you should do. Maybe you're ready to put away the spiritual oppressor in your life, to put the sin away in your life. We want to help you, whatever it may be. Whatever your concern, please come as we stand and sing.